We are live and welcome to the Dirt Shed Show. We're not doing the actual show though, it's just Ask GMBN. It's that time where you guys send in questions and I'll try and answer them, which will hopefully in turn make you a better rider out on the trails. The very first question that I'm going to check out is from Callum Henstock, and he's saying, what is a good way of checking that my handlebars are aligned with the wheel? This is actually a pretty tough one because I'm probably the very worst person to ask about getting your handlebars straight. The mechanic used to give me so much jip for actually just doing it wrong, and he'd be like, that's so squint looking at it, and I'd be like, no, that's straight to me. So maybe I've got a wonky eye or a shoulder's not aligned or something, I really don't know. But anyway, my top tip, whether you listen to it or not, is actually to align the stem, and you actually align that with the outside knobs of the tire, and hopefully that'll give you a straight handlebar. May or may not work. Find out for yourself. The next is from Scruffy Adam, and he says, how can I bunny hop on a hardtail? Well, that's actually pretty easy, Adam, because I'm going to throw you straight to a video that Neil did, and it's how to bunny hop on a hardtail. Easy as that.
So the technique for a bunny hop, the start is exactly the same as a full suspension bike. You're looking for that L shape with your hips. So stand nice and tall, pump down, and then to the back of the bike in one smooth motion.
Dark Water Movies is asking, hi, I ride my bike for at least 1 hour a day and often more. Is that enough training to go for a race? Well, it really depends what sort of riding you're doing in that. You could be doing a fasted ride in the morning and that'll actually improve your metabolic system, or you could be doing a few intervals, or if you're not doing either of them, then why not add them in, and that'll get you fitter and you'll be ready to race. The next is from Peter Stojanlavjevic. Sorry, don't really know how to say your name. But anyway, Peter, he's saying, how can I get endurance from mountain biking? I want to improve my speed on longer distance. I also get tired after riding 20 kilometers. Well, Peter, it really depends how hard those 20 kilometers that you're riding are. You could be doing a huge amount of elevation and that's why you're getting tired. If they're relatively a bit flatter, then I could suggest that you do some of those fasted rides. You could even do them pre-work and that'll maximize your time. So I'm going to throw it straight to that video on how to do a fasted ride, and hopefully that'll help you out. Well, fasted rides, especially first thing in the morning in a low carbohydrate training environment, have been publicized as beneficial for adapting to building a fat burning metabolism. Derek Tube 1 is asking, he's a cross-country rider and wants to buy a full suspension bike. He wants to ride on bike parks and enduro trails, but he's stuck in decision on which to buy. A trail bike with 140 or an enduro bike with 160. Should he go for the more enduro orientated for downhill, or should he go for just an all-round bike? Well, that really is a tough question. It depends where you live, I'd say, is a big one. If you've got some great bike parks nearby you, then definitely go for the 160mm enduro bike. And coming from a cross-country background, you might actually find, although it's heavier to get up to the top of the hills, you'll feel way more comfortable on the downhills, and it'll improve your confidence a lot quicker, which will in turn transfer into the cross-country mountain biking. The next is from Jonathan Martinez, and he's saying, great style, Scott, but I wonder where your backpack, and he comments, every rider last year at the Enduro World Series in Spain was wearing one, and he wants to know where I kept all my stuff. So Jonathan, I didn't ride without a backpack because I've actually got a special pair of bib shorts. It's got 3 pockets around the back, and it's also got some down the side of my thighs. I put all my food, gels, some spare water. There's plenty of space to carry everything that you need for a big day out. I actually did this in Ainsley as well last year, and it's really convenient, and I don't get the distraction of a backpack sort of flopping around my back. You see a lot of the pro riders doing exactly the same, and full face helmets, you can actually take those cheek pads out, and I'm going to throw to that video that Greg Callahan did, where he actually took his cheek pads out and put them underneath his goggle straps. Great hack right there.
I'd stash a lot of it in my pockets. The back protector I wear has some pockets, so it allows me to get some food, some bars and gels and some water in there. And that gets me between each food stop where you can replenish your stores. So at the moment I'm wearing an open face helmet, but generally I'd race with a full face for that bit extra protection when you're going at race speeds. One thing though is that full face is going to be quite hot to climb in between stages. So a good tip for that is to remove your cheek pads. Get a lot more airflow and keep your body cool while you're climbing.
It's time for the quick fire round. Let's get into it. Boom! The first is from Casper Anderson, and he's saying, have you got any GMBN stickers? Well, Casper, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Don't tell too many people though, they'll be coming very soon to the shop. Dylan McNichol is saying his rear derailleur has some lag when he's shifting. Well, Dylan, make sure that they are indexed correctly, and you could also check that your cables aren't worn or a little bit rusty. You should find that if you replace them, they'll be more efficient. Radio Auckland is asking why I don't ride without gloves. Well, it's just really personal preference. I like the feel of having no gloves on. Jim Bob is saying we should do some more GoPro footage of stage runs or even just when we're out riding. Check out our Facebook page, there are plenty of them there. And Candy is saying, why don't you use a full face helmet? Well, it's really personal preference again. I mean, I ride a lot with an open face helmet. You see a lot of pros in Enduro World Series stuff, they ride with a full face, but personal preference again, what you feel comfortable in. I like riding an open face and you get so much more ventilation. CRSX Bike is asking, what does the Kashima coat on Fox suspension do? Keeps it running super smooth. And Max Herberg, he's asking, why don't ride my GT? Well, it's right here. We've had a few little rides, but nothing spectacular yet for the channel, but watch this space, there will be a lot of stuff coming soon on it. And I'm pretty excited to get out and give it a thrashing. Aidan Ritchie is saying, will you ever sell those GMBN jerseys in the shop? Yes. Just this week we've had some samples, so all being well and the big bosses approve them, then they should be on sale soon. Watch this space as well. Anyway, that's it for the quick fire round. If you have any questions that you want answered, then you can leave it in the comments down below and we'll get back to you. Correct me if I'm wrong, so you guys have sent in some videos of you out riding on the trails and you want some technique advice on how to become a better rider. So let's look at the first one. It's from Evan Smith. Good speed, looks pretty comfortable on the bike, but you can actually see that he's coming into it. He's way off the back and his arms are sort of almost locked out. He's not got any movement in them. So he wants to think about that pumping. So when he's coming over the face, he really is pushing his weight down, but then getting over the back, ready to absorb that big compression at the bottom. Also think about your speed and also how you drop your hips. You don't want to just be bending at the knees, you want to use your hips and your arms. So it's one big movement. You're going to let the suspension do its work and you're going to come out and you're not going to bottom out and lose that figure that you had at the bottom there. We absolutely love receiving all your videos and questions, and we do our very best to look at every single one and give you guys some honest answers that will hopefully help you out on the trails. Anyway, that's it for this week's edition, and for more great videos on GMBN, why don't you click just up there for our how-to playlist. Alternatively, you could click just down there for a fat bike versus plus bike that we recently did, and as ever, don't forget to click right in the middle to subscribe. Remember, you get a great video every day of the week, and the very best part is that it's absolutely free.